Welcome to another video by Pharos Technology. Today I want to talk about setting default properties that can save you a ton of time when building forms and reports. Let's show you. What I want to do first is go to create a form in Design View. Okay? When I create a form in Design View, the ribbon up here that has the controls is exposed at this point, and if I click on one of them and bring open the property sheet, you'll see that it has an entry called default text box. Now, before putting any items in my form area here, I can set a bunch of defaults for all text boxes that would be for this form. So I can scroll down here and I can tell it that I want a solid border. I want, instead of hairline, I want it to be, let's say, 1 point, and instead of flat, I want it to be raised. I could change the font, but here's a particular thing about font for both forms and reports, is I can head over here to the Home button, the Home tab, and notice I have the Home tab here, and I can set the report font and font size for the entire database. I don't have to set it form by form or report by report. I can set it for the entire database. So with the exception of all the other properties, the font property and the font type property can be set globally for the entire database. Also remember that we talked about the themes and colors and fonts, which you can set as a default for the entire database here. So those settings up here on the ribbon, and not in the property sheet, but on the ribbon, are global for the entire database that you are setting up. Now, they're not global when you open your next database. They are for the current database that you'll save here. So let's look at this property sheet now. I've mentioned a few of these. We can tell it that I never want scroll bars, for example. We can leave it at that I never want scroll bars, or I want to align all my fonts instead of general, which will generally put it left justified for text and right justified for numbers. If I leave it at general, it'll do both of those things, but I could say I want everything left or centered or right, and it'll do it for the rest of the building of this particular form. So I can change my font spacing. I could change my margins and padding and all different settings here on the property sheet. Now the same thing exists if I go here to create, and instead of creating a form, I create a report. I can also click up here and I see the default text box. So I can go over here to label, for example, the text box. I can go over here to label, and I can set my labeling instead of flat here, special effect. I can mark that as raised. I can change my border width again, like I did on the other one, to 1 point. I can change the color of the border to a different color here. I can do all of those different adjustments for this form. Now, once I have that all established, I go on merrily to create my form just like normal. Now, the challenge at that point then is, okay, you've done it for this form. Does that mean I've got to do it for every single other form? The short answer is yes, unfortunately, but you can create a template out of this report or this form, and just save it as report 1, save it as form 1. And saving it as a template, every time you want to create a new form, you just open up the template, resave it as a different name, and you have another form ready to go in Design View set for your property defaults. So I hope this has helped. It's helped me an immense amount to be able to set it and not have to worry about resetting all those things that I used to constantly go, control by control by control and make it look just the way I wanted to. This makes it a whole lot easier. So I hope you've liked this video. Hit that like button if you have. Please subscribe. Gosh, we appreciate all the subscribers. We've just gone over 1,000 subscribers, And I'm just as excited as punch that things are growing. So subscribe if you feel that you get value out of these, and hope to see you back again later. Thanks.